Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm sharing a birthday card using the new Weather With You stamp set by My Favorite Things. This one is so cute and I couldn't wait to use it. So I'm using the stamp set, a slimline die, then this banner and a few sentiments out of the amazing Bitty birthday wishes. First of all, I'm going to color in these images. Just some of you might already know the combination. From time to time, I share a color combo of my Copic markers on the NUVO Instagram page. And there I shared these basic colors that I'm using today onto this bunny, bear, etc. So you might be familiar with these combos already. I'm just sharing them there. Card Nouveau is a European web shop where I am a brand ambassador from. It has been a few weeks now. It's just a shop where I buy everything personally and I just love them. And they also sell Copic markers, so just to point that out, there will be a few Copic combinations on their Instagram page before I share the card normally. So then you have a heads up, which is kind of nice for some people who are looking for some color combinations, some inspiration. So if you don't want to miss out on those previews, then you can always just follow Card Nouveau at Instagram. So I'm starting with the bunny using a light color combination. I just love these critters. This set just was released with My Favorite Things card kit, and I must admit, whenever there are critters with like an oversized head, I just melt. I love it. It's so cute. So each time My Favorite Things does these things, then, well, I just need to have them. Then there are also some surrounding stamps in this set. I'm not using that today. I'm keeping this card really simple. I actually really wanted to feature these images as well as some of these sentiments from the Bitty birthday wishes. There are different Bitty stamp sets with all sentiments, and I just think these sets are must-haves in your craft room. I personally struggle with adding sentiments. Like, I always have a card idea or I start on a card and then in the end I realize that I still need to add a sentiment and then it doesn't fit or it's just too big or whatever can happens when I need to add a sentiment. Now, this stamp set really allows you to have small sentiments, bigger ones, and they are all themed. So there is also a holiday wishes, which I also recently bought, and I just cannot wait to use it because you can cut out so many sentiments with it, and they will all already fit every card. Like, you want to make a birthday card, you already prepped maybe 10 sentiments, you stamp them out, cut them out to sentiment strips, and you just are ready to go. So that's why I really love these sentiments into these sets. Well, I'm happy with it. They were finally available in my shop, so I just had to buy it immediately. Now, these critters, well, these allow you to really start playing with your neutral tones, like your browns, your grays. I decided to use warm grays today, but you can definitely vary in the different gray tones that there are. In Copic markers, I just have all the warm grays, or sort of have all of them, so that's easier for me to vary in the combinations. And then something else that I wanted to say about this stamp set is that there are so many ways to make cards with it. There is like a lovely sentiment that is saying like stack up to whatever. I'm not really sure what it is, but like design team members already stacked them up, a tower of these adorable critters, and I really want to do that in the future as well. I just need to find the time for that, but I think that's a wonderful card. Also, you can just add them on top of each other without using that sentiment, but then doing a birthday card. I'm just trying to make lots of birthday cards. As I said in the beginning of the year, I always struggle with having enough birthday cards, so I'm trying to, well, sort of make a birthday card of every card I make. There are a few exceptions, and then of course there will be Christmas cards. But yeah, that's what I'm trying to do, make more birthday cards. And the Christmas cards, I'm a bit afraid that I'm not really started yet. I made a few in the beginning of the year already, but I'm always lacking Christmas cards, so I really need to start making those as well. Step up the game. Yeah, that's something that I still need to do. So I expect to make some. I hope that you will like these. But what I also was thinking about using this stem set for is just add a Christmas hat on every head of these critters. How cute! And then I would prefer a really tiny Christmas hat, so that the head still is like the biggest thing of the image. So I think I need to look for a Christmas hat. I prefer using the same brands together, so a Christmas hat on one of the MFT stem sets. Maybe you have one in your mind, then you can always leave them in the comments. I would appreciate it. I just need a head, and then if I have that stem set, or if I can buy it and have the budget for it, then I will make a card with these ones with the Christmas hat. Promise. Okay, so I am onto my final critter. I'm leaving the ears and the noses as is now, because I'm just going to use the same Copic markers on there, so I just do it in one go. The fishbowl was a bit different for me. Well, you can see through water, so I wanted to have the brown of the bear coming through, but then decided to only use the lightest one for that, and then I will go over the bowl using some blue markers. That's the idea. Now you saw it maybe already in the beginning. I'm going to use some pastel colors for this card, for the background, for the sentiments. So later on I will also use like a BG for the glasses of the bear. Just really soft coloring, nothing fancy, just to match with my background. So I have been talking a lot, but as you see here, and with all the other critters, I just always add a second layer at least, and maybe if I need it, I go back in a third time, fourth time, whatever. This paper is a Transotype perfect coloring paper, which allows me to add lots of layers of Copic markers, which makes it easier for me to do a bit of heavier blending, although I'm not trying to do that today. I just have a centered sort of light source, just really simple coloring. So here I'm just going over the water area, and then I will add some orange for the fish. And then I can do the ears, the noses with E13 and E11. Lately those are the colors that I'm using, and if it's a larger surface I also use the E01, E00, but for this 2 was just fine. And then when everything is colored in, I'm going to take the matching dies and cut all of these critters out so that I can play with placement and decide on my sentiments. So as I showed you in the beginning, I'm going to use the Blueprint 27. It's an amazing die set which is quite budget friendly for the amount of dies you get. And I'm using this small banner just to help me cut out these 4 colored strips, deciding which critter will get which color, and then I will add my sentiments on top of it. Now I don't want all my critters to be on the right side, I'm also going to add a few on the left side, and so I will have to change up placement of my sentiments depending on which side of this panel they will be on. So I'm just placing them wherever I think it will work. I don't want to have the grays next to each other or the browns next to each other, so I'm just switching between them, and now I'm deciding upon the sets that I'm going to use, or the sentiments that I'm going to use better, of this adorable set filled with birthday sentiments. Now I wanted to have a few shorter, a few longer ones to just vary in sizes, and then I'm stamping it out using the same black ink as I used for the critters itself, and that I will do for each of the sentiments. And then once that's done, I can play a bit more with placement, because then I will be officially adding the critters almost, but first doing something on the background. Now these colors are the color cardstock. It's all from Concord 9th. Well, I use it all the time. I think you know by now that I adore their colors. And there are matching inks with it, so I'm just adding a bit of the same ink as the cardstock, just behind the critter, above the sentiment. So the colors that I'm using today are Grapefruit, Sprout, Ballet Slipper, and Sea Gloss. I just thought that these colors were all quite bright and light at the same time. So I'm just using my purple tape to mask off the area where the banner is going, and then I'm ink blending a bit above it. And then once I have done this for all the colors, I can start adhering things. Then everything is prepped. So I'm moving on to the Ballet Slippers, which is one of my favorite pinks. I also often use this cardstock as a background color for my cards if I don't do anything with the background specifically, or just have a soft background going on. I just love this color. It's not in your face, but at the same time it gives you a bit of color instead of just a white background, and I just like that. So on to my final one. This is Sprout, and I just love this color. If you ink blend it, it's a bit more vibrant than the cardstock itself in my opinion, and I actually really like the ink blended version. And that's it. So now we can reveal our background, which is a bit strange this way, but at the same time I think that even without the sentiment strips, if the ink blending was completely straight, because I didn't really bother about it now, then this could also just be the grounding that you add without the sentiment strips. And if you want to add 4 sentiments, you can still add it below the ink blending. But in my head, I was going to use these sentiment strips, so I'm sticking to that idea. I'm just trying to place all the images where I want them to be, and then I can start adhering. Now I'm going to add the sentiments flat onto this panel. It would also help me to trim off the excess later on. And then afterwards I will add all the critters using some thin foam squares. And then later on I will add a bit of details as well. So I'm just adding them one by one. I first thought of tucking this panda a bit behind the sentiment, but then later on I just figured it out that it was better to have it a bit over the sentiment. So I changed that up just by using my reverse tweezers. For the rest, nothing fancy. I'm going to skip through a part of the adherence because it's always the same sentiment with the liquid glue and then the image with some thin foam squares. So that went quite quickly. And then once everything is on there, I'm going to trim off the excess from the banners. You can choose whether you're using a trimmer or scissors. I prefer using a trimmer in this case because it's a slimline and it's not always easy to butt your scissors against the edge and have it all straight and stuff. So just putting it underneath the trimmer, making sure it is aligned straight against the edge, and then trimming off the excess. So that gives me my panel, and I'm just going to add it first on the slimline card base before I add any accessories. I'm adding glossy accents because there are glosses. I also love having glossy accents on the noses of critters because that's just cute. And there are of course also the gloss of the fishbowl. But that I forgot at first, but I will add it later on. And then I decided to add a few embellishments as well. Therefore I took these bubbles by Little Things from Lucy's cards. I just love bubbles. I don't know why. The love started this year. Sometimes I need to hold it in and say to myself, don't use bubbles all the time. It's getting repetitive. But if you are not sure about which sequence would work on your card, I really think that bubbles go on everything. I am convinced about that. So I just laid it out. I already tried it out a bit beforehand. So that one quickly here. And then I am adding it using some liquid glue. And then I will add the final glossy accents to finish off this card. Now, if you're struggling with placing sequins, personally I find that if you space out your sequins in an angle of 45 degrees, that it will always work. But that's a personal preference, but that's what I do. So this is my card, and I had so much fun using these critters, but also the colors. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and of course like the end result. You can always give this one a thumbs up if you liked it. And I hope that I will see you back next time. Thank you so much for taking the time to stop by. I hope you have a wonderful day left, and I will be back soon with some new crafty inspiration. Bye!